I've made my journal. I'm going to add to it. I want to put a picture of my face in it because it reminds me, hey face, start doing the work. So I'm going to put in my intentions into my creative goals logbook. I'm going to put them in here, not as a place to do them, but as a little reminder of my goal journey. You know, like as a memory keeper, I feel like documenting the journey is almost just as important as the results. Maybe more, sometimes more. So right next to my face, I'm writing about how I want to be intentional about my art, how I want to make decisions about it that lead to action, that lead to me being better about it, to me making small little things that will eventually lead to my art looking the way I wanted to and doing all the things that I wanted to. I've split my intentions into 3 and writing it on this gorgeous intentions card. I love it so much. And I'm using a Kuretake brush pen for this. This is my favorite brush pen of all time. I swear, it's got like this magical ability of making my handwriting look better than it is. Like it's just writing cursive and it looks pretty fancy. So I love this pen. One of my favorites. And I also like this skinny pen. It's a Pilot something, super skinny, and it's fantastic. My 3 goals are to sketch more, to combine art and memory keeping, and to focus on just one thing a month. And I think those are 3 good goals for the year. I think that they're going to really get me where I want to be a year from now in my creativity. I've always wanted to sketch more, so that is clearly why I am choosing to do that. I've given myself the requirement of 1 a day. I think that's doable. And I mean, the 1 can be, I can sketch like a plant or a flower, or I can sketch an entire scene. And I guess that's kind of the point with goals, right? Is you need them to be specific, but you also need them to be flexible. So, you know, some like these kind of goals, just based on years of doing this, these kinds of goals work for me. The ones where I tell myself exactly what to do, but like have leeway around it. My second goal is to combine art and memory keeping. Now, I've been project laughing basically since I started making things, which was in 2013, and there was 1 year that I didn't do it, which was 2016, I think. Yeah. And then it was because I was pregnant and I was terribly sick, and I stayed inside basically for 9 months. So no project life pictures for that. But I did end up making a project life album about my pregnancy. So I still kind of did it. Anyway, that's a long-winded way of saying 2019 is going to be the first year that I have not project lifed since 2013. So, I mean, it's quite a big decision. I mean, I had a full-on family meeting with my husband where I asked him, you know, is this okay? Like, am I going to be okay with this in the end? So part 2 is kind of my goal for memory keeping, and that is to continue the silver rerum that I've been making, which is my commonplace book, and it's actually turned into a place where I'm just keeping memories. I guess it's kind of junk journal, Marianne Moss remains of the day type of silver rerum commonplace notebook. So I'm going to be keeping on with that. I do want to write more. I was very good at writing in 2018. and I want to be intentional about that this year. I feel like it's a really impressive habit to have. It makes me feel very at peace. It helps me process everything. So yeah, that's my second goal, is the journaling. I know that I don't think anyone's going to look back at these journals of mine. I hope not. I'm definitely not doing it as like family heirloom type of thing. I'm doing it for myself and to process my thoughts and everything. But I know, I'm always impressed by women who have kept journals, like traditional journals or day planners kind of thing, over all their lives. I think that's a really cool form of memory keeping. I've literally never looked back at my Project Life albums ever, I think, for photographing it and doing like flip throughs, but it's not something that I really look back at for the memories. So yeah, this is what feels right to me right now. And so I've actually already kind of started it towards the end of 2018, where I've got a square moleskin. I think it's called an Art Plus. I'm not quite sure, but it feels like those really cheap moleskins, except the paper's not the same. It's the mixed media paper of this, so it's a little bit more expensive, but it's got the soft cover, square size. Anyway, I've been really loving that lately. So I keep it on my computer desk, and I spend a lot of time at my computer since I work from home. And, I'm just like adding words there. I'm adding papers from my day, kind of what Johanna does with her junk journaling, and with her recording her life in that way, I think is pretty cool. And then, of course, I'm going to be doing photo books for my memory keeping, but I want to write in my photo books more. I'm very good at making photo books with a lot of pictures. Goal is to write more. So yeah, goal in general is to journal and have words and feelings as part of my memory keeping this year. I'm very excited for that one. I'm excited for all of these. I think this one I'm definitely going to succeed in. I don't think there's a chance that I'm not going to succeed at it, because I love it so much. Right. Okay, so I'm busy working on the front page. I loved that start from the January kits. They're so beautiful. Everything in this kit is so beautiful and just like ignites my excitement, which I hope will continue for the rest of the year with this little logbook. And I suppose that's the point, is it's kind of like my little paper cheerleader, right? Okay, so my third goal for this year is focus. Now, that's a very open-ended kind of goal, but what it means, like in a very practical sense, is I want to have one focus per month, one creative focus. So Get Messy, the art journaling community that I run, it's always done roughly 2-month seasons, and every year we've kind of tweaked the season. So in the beginning it was like 6 weeks, I think, 6 weeks on, 2 weeks off. It was always very confusing, and like we've been making it easier to understand more for ourselves as well. But what we've decided is that for 2019 we're going to have monthly seasons, and I cannot even tell you how happy I am with that idea, because for me and for my creativity, I find that a month is a good amount of time to focus on one thing. It's a good enough time to get kind of better at it, but also if you hate the theme, you can just leave it, and a month isn't too long to go without actively working on it, on that exact thing. So monthly seasons, monthly focuses, monthly intentional commitment renewals. We're also doing boot camps for Get Messy in 2019. It's a 3-day intensive focus, as I'm writing out focus there, but it's an intensive intention making. I feel like I need to come up with a better tagline for that, because that was terrible. That was not good. I'm not a salesperson or, yeah, okay. So I'm rambling, but I'm very excited. I'm very excited about all these goals. And I know that like every video, people always say they're excited. Well, I guess it's a good thing. People are enthusiastic in videos. So, yeah. Okay, so those are my goals for the year. If goals are something that you really love talking about, if you're like me, there is a podcast episode on how she creates where I talk about my reflections for the 2018 year, my plans for the 2019 year. There's a free workbook with it. I think it's like 16 pages, and it helps you hash all these ideas out. Anyway, I'll leave a link in the description if that's what you're into. But the purpose of this beautiful journal with its most beautiful pages from Citrus Twist is just to document the journey and to be a tiny little reminder that I can keep on my desk and just jot down my thoughts. And then, ironically, it'll help me with my 3 goals as well. So it's like this like totally synergistic thing. It's awesome.